So what do you do if you've been attending a church's youth group for a couple of years, but you don't really want to go back because you just don't feel like anyone there really actually cares about you? That's what we talk about this week on Youth Questions. Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer and welcome to another week of Youth Questions, where every week we just answer real questions from real teens about real life. And this week we're going to answer a question that one of you submitted about going to a church youth group. You guys asked this. I've attended youth group for about 3 years now, but I recently stopped going to it because I don't feel like the other people there want to be my friend, and it's really discouraging me. Am I looking at this wrong? Great question. I've led youth groups myself for about 12 years, and I know many other adults and people who really love teenagers who lead youth groups as well. And so I went to some of those youth leaders and asked them to answer this question for you, and here's what they had to say.
Recently, all of my friends have moved away, and it's been an interesting experience because they're all over the place. They're in Ohio and Virginia, and they're actually overseas because they're military. They're absolutely everywhere. And so I'm in a similar spot to you where I just don't have necessarily friends to hang out with. And what I have found myself doing is I have to be incredibly intentional about seeking out and finding people that I can hang out with who get me and that I can be friends with. And what I found is that I have to be very intentional and seek out like a specific person and say, okay, hey, I'm Corinza, and what's your name? How you doing? What school do you, ask questions like, what school do you go to? Go out and seek your friends.
You may not be looking at it correctly. Maybe if you can get the youth group around like my church camp group did, and we gathered around the room, settled our differences, because maybe it's not just you that's looking at it in a different way. Maybe it's other people. Just ask what's all going on or something. Get the youth minister involved to start it off, and then once y'all know how to start it, get it started, eventually y'all would be able to have a little meeting or something, just like at my church camp, and be able to solve your problems.
I went to a predominantly all-white church. I was the only black, or there was one other black that went there. And like when we would have youth sessions or youth groups, I felt like I was segregated because I felt like an outcast, because when we would do things, have group sessions, I was always set aside or apart from everyone else. So that really discouraged me, and it made me feel like that I wasn't part of the group, when as a Christian you should accept everyone for who they are. I can't help that God made me this way. If God doesn't see color, then why should everybody else? So as that made me feel like an outcast, it really kind of did something to me, and it actually turned me away from God and from church for a while, because it just really messed with me and I didn't really understand it. So therefore, I got out of church for a while, but then I started back going. And I've learned to acknowledge who God was, and I have found another loving church that do love me and do accept me for who I am, and have made me a better person and a better Christian.
I'm a youth pastor, and so I've had students who feel like they're not connecting with the group in a way that they used to, and it's a really hard thing for them to go through. Part of just the reality of life is that our friends change over the years, and even inside of a youth group, you'll maybe hang out with different people, different points in your teenage years. One of the things I notice in my youth group is that when a teenager feels like they're not connecting with other people in the group, they end up going to less and less things. And the problem is that means they have less and less chances to connect, and so it kind of becomes this like self-fulfilling prophecy thing where they say they don't connect with anyone, so they don't go, so they don't connect with anyone, so they feel like they don't connect, so they stop going, and it's just, you see how it gets to be kind of a bad cycle. And so I know it might not feel like the best thing, and I know it might be kind of uncomfortable or awkward for parts, but one of the best things you can do is to just keep going. To just keep going to youth group and see who you connect with. And maybe it'll be other people, maybe you'll connect with a different youth than you did before, but you gotta keep going. If you don't go, you're not gonna make any more connections. It's all about the amount of time that you spend.
There's a lot of really good advice there, and I hope some of it was helpful for you. My advice is pretty similar. Why don't you take the initiative to try to reach out to some of those people, or talk to your youth leader about maybe how you can get some of those people to come over and stay at your house or just have fun together, because there might be some other people in that youth group who also feel the same way you do, and they're just, no one's like really just connecting or reaching out to each other. So maybe if you take the initiative to do that, that would be a totally different story, and not only would you be helping yourself, but in the process you might be helping many other teenagers there who might feel the same way as you do. For the rest of you guys, if you're a teenager and you have a question you'd like us to answer in an upcoming video sometime, you'll find a link in the description below this video here on YouTube where you can anonymously ask a question about anything you're going through in life, and me and other people will do our best to answer that for you in an upcoming video. Of course, to get that video, you'll have to subscribe, so make sure you click that button above this video here on YouTube, or you can click right there as well. We'd love to have you guys join us for these videos we do for you guys every week, just because we love you. And if you have any advice for this teenager who's going through this situation at her youth group, please comment below and let us know what you think. Often the comments you guys leave are very helpful, not only for the person who asked this question, but for other people who watch this video later who might be going through something very similar. So make sure you comment below with your input. That'd be awesome, and I will see you guys again next week for another Youth Questions video. Bye.